As somebody who mentors and coaches people who are trying to get into software development, I've noticed that there's a personality trait that if you have can make this process really difficult. Now, the good news is if you do have this personality trait, it's not the end of the world, but there are some things you need to know about it going into it. So that's what I'm going to cover in today's video. Now, if you're new here and you're wondering who I am, I'm Andy Sterkowitz. I'm a self-taught software developer, and this channel is all about how to do the same. So how to teach yourself how to code, how to land that first job so you can get into this as a career. So I'd recommend hitting the subscribe button below. Also make sure to hit the bell icon so you get notifications anytime I put out a new video. Now, to really illustrate this personality trait, I want to tell a story about two fictitious people who want to become programmers. The first person is Realistic Rob, and the second one is Perfectionist Pete. And they both want to become programmers for the right reasons, meaning that they love to code so far that they've been exposed to it, and they want to make their lives better by getting a career that they're really happy with. The only differences between these two is that Realistic Rob knows where he's starting out from, meaning he knows he's starting at the bottom rung, he has to work his way up, and he accepts the fact that it could be a long time potentially, but he has proper expectations. He just wants to get his study habits up to par, and that's his main focus. Whereas Perfectionist Pete has really high and unrealistic expectations. He thinks, or he wants to study 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. He also wants to become a programmer in 3 months. And on top of all that, he wants to build a Facebook replica. So he wants to build the Facebook application, a complete replica of it, and he wants to do that within 3 months. So that's where our characters are starting out. But let's check in with them after a month. So after a month, it's actually interesting because our Perfectionist Pete character has been crushing it. That first month, he's been putting in 12 hours a day, every single day. He's been fueling it with caffeine and also by cutting back on his sleep. So instead of spending 8 hours a night sleeping, he's spending 5 or maybe 6 hours at the most. However, he's read 3 programming books. He has starting on this Facebook replica application, and it looks like he's really cooking. He's feeling really good. Our friend Rob, on the other hand, in his case, he's still reading through his first programming book. He's built a small to-do application, but the key thing with Rob is that he's been putting in an hour every single day. It's not much, but that's all he has to spare with his full-time job. From there, let's check in with our characters at the 3-month mark. If we look at our perfectionist friend, Pete, we see that he's having a little bit of an issue right now. We're at the 3-month mark, and the prior month, he's really had a struggle to be consistent. So occasionally he'll get a 12-hour day, and for the most part, he's able to maybe hit about 4 days per week at about 5 to 6 hours. The problem is that the caffeine has worn off. It's not having the same effect as it was before. He's feeling a little bit groggy when he's studying. But at this point, what's really promising for him is he's made a lot of progress on the Facebook replica application. He's about 50% done. It's getting a lot better, but he's getting caught in a lot of minutia, and that's a little bit frustrating. He's at that point where he thought he would have got hired, so he's kind of feeling a little bit demotivated by the whole situation, but he looks like he's doing pretty well overall. Now, our friend Rob, interestingly enough, Realistic Rob, he has been studying for 2 hours per week because he hit his 1 hour mark at month 1, and now he figures he can step it up. So he's been doing a little bit more. For him, he's finished his second programming book. He also has 4 smaller, less complex applications under his belt that he can put in his portfolio. So he's happy. He's starting to really enjoy the process and looking forward to the future. Now, at the 6-month mark, where are our characters? So Perfectionist Pete has really broken down. He's taken the last month off to reflect on things because he is completely burnt out. Just the thought of sitting down and studying really stresses him out, really brings him down, because every time that he has to sit down, he has to think about his incomplete project that he has not finished and his failure to hit his goals of being a developer in 3 months. So for him, he may not even make it past 6 months, whereas our other character, Rob, he is really hitting his strides. He's built 7 applications at this point. He's about to hit his 8th application, which is going to be his most complex, where he's going to take everything he's learned, everything he's seen up until this point, and really try to combine them together. He is studying for 2 hours a day. He's about 80% consistent. You know, life gets in the way. He knows that. And more than anything else, he enjoys the process so much that he knows if he has to do this for another 6 months, that's okay, because he loves it. He's come to the point where he could do this for as long as he needs to. Now, hopefully by now, you should see that these two characters really represent a perfectionist versus somebody who takes things in stride, who sees things realistically. Somebody who sees things realistically has consistency, right? So they're able to show up every single day. At this point, within 6 months, they have projects to show, their enthusiasm is high, and they're outperforming their perfectionist counterpart, where their perfectionist counterpart really has a low enthusiasm, their consistency is low, they don't have a ton of projects because they're always nitpicking about what is considered done, what is considered perfect, and more than anything else, they're underperforming in the long term. So the trait that I was really talking about at the beginning of this video is perfectionism. And if you have this trait, if you find that your expectations of what you should be able to do or how perfect code has to be before you can ship it, these things are really going to hold you back as a developer. So if you are a perfectionist, let's talk about the 3 ways that you can really reduce your bad tendencies as a perfectionist to overcome them and move on with your life. First thing you can do to reduce your perfectionist tendencies is to stop comparing yourself to other people. You probably have some idols or people who you look up to who you want to be like, whether that's your friend who's a really good software developer. Maybe if you're a nerd like me, you want to be like Elon Musk and work 80 hours a week and run 2 companies. Whatever it is, whoever it is, you have to throw that stuff out the window. The way that the people that we admire develop those skills is through hours and hours and hours of practice, of being in the trenches and doing the dirty work that it requires to be really skilled at something. And so for you to compare yourself to anybody else who is doing this well is insane. You have to play your own game, meaning that you just have to compare where you're at today to where you were yesterday and just look to make those 0.5 or 1% improvements every single day. So over the course of a long period of time, you can see that add up. But ultimately, if you're comparing yourself to other people, it's a losing game. Just look at people who inspire you, try to be like them, and then look at what you're doing. Don't compare yourself to them. From there, the second thing I recommend to curb your perfectionist tendencies is to accept the reality of your situation. Some of you guys will be starting with some experience in programming or computers. Some of you will be starting with no experience in programming and computers. And depending on where you're starting with, you have to accept that that's where you're starting from, and your journey is going to be different from other people's. You may even have to accept that you have certain limitations in your life. Maybe you have a family, a full-time job, there's stress in your life, and so you're not going to have as much time as other people, and your time is going to be limited. What I found with perfectionists is that we are a positive bunch. We are very much a go-getter bunch. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna run through walls to do it. But when we do that, we tend to not really see our limitations. Like we don't see that, hey, for us to put more time into study, we're gonna have to cut back on sleep, drink more caffeine, which is not a long-term strategy. So whatever situation is in front of you, if you're starting at the very beginning or you have limited time, accept that reality so you can see it for what it is, and then you can create a plan, a system to get around it, to get through it. But if you don't accept reality for what it is, you're gonna try to do way too much. You're gonna possibly take shortcuts, which will derail you in the long term. The third way to curb your perfectionist tendency is to use the word just ship it as your motto. So the term just ship it means to put stuff out there, even if it's not 100% ready. And the reason that you probably need this more than anybody else is that what you're gonna do when you look at your code, when you look at projects that you're gonna put in your portfolio, you're probably gonna obsess over some small details before you can put it out there for the world to see. You're gonna say it has to be perfect because if somebody's gonna see my code, that has to be the perfect code. Here's the thing about code. Here's the thing about any project. You can always put stuff out there and put it 75% of what you think is the best it could be. And later on, a week later, months later, you can come back and change it. So if you create an application and it has a terrible user interface, just know that you can come back and change it later. Don't let these things hold you back from just producing things and getting things out there. One of the things that I think is most important as a software developer is to show a track record of finishing things, because anybody can start new projects. Very few developers, from my experience, can complete them. So make sure to just get things out there. Don't worry too much about the quality. You can worry about that later in your career. But for now, just get the experience of shipping things under your belt and use that as your motto going forward. All right, guys, those are the 3 tips I have to overcome your perfectionist tendencies. And like you guys, I have these tendencies as well, so it's taken me some time to overcome them. So please let me know in the comments below if this video helped at all. Please leave a like as well. But other than that, that's really all I've got for today. So thank you as always for watching, and peace out, guys.